Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a long time since my last video. So today's video is going to be about my updated bronze glam. I thought that I would do something that done really well in the video before, and obviously because it's been so long that I last filmed, I thought this would be a really good video to get me back into it. So yeah, if you want to see how I created this look, then just keep on watching. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to brush my brow hairs up the way. So I'm just going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel for this. So I'm just going to brush the hair up the way. As you can see, my brows are a lot darker than my hair. So the brow products I use are quite red toned. So what I'm going to do after that is I'm going to go in with my brow pencil. So the brow pencil that I use two. They're both from NYX. One is the pencil and then one's the micro pencil. I kind of use a kind of browner tone to tone it down a little bit. So when this goes on, do not be like, whoa. Right, now that you are very close up, I am going to go ahead and start my brows. So even though I've brushed them up already, I'm just making sure they're all kind of going the same way. And then I'm just going to start going in with the pencil. Since going corporate, I'm still trying to figure out ways of doing my makeup, and I'm changing things about, trying to see what suits it the best. So this is still trial and error at the moment. Now I'm going in with the brown pencil. Right, now I'm going to go in with my concealer just to tidy everything up. And the concealer that I use is the BarryM concealer. I don't even know the name. Oh no, All Night Long concealer. This is a full coverage concealer. It is quite matte, so I like to just use this kind of under the brow bone, and then I use a different eye base for my eyeshadow to go onto. So the brush I'm going to go in with for this is the Juvia soft concealer brush. This is a E27 brush from Morphe. I don't know if they do these anymore, but I really like these just for buffing in concealer. So the primer that I use is the HelenE Stage Primer. So just pop a little kind of pea-sized amount onto the back of my hand. And I'm just going to pat that on with the same brush that I put my concealer under the brows with. Now that I've went ahead and done my eye base, we're going to jump right into doing the eyeshadow. So the palette that I'm going to start out with today is the Juvia's Place Saharan 2 palette. It looks like this. And yeah, so actually I smashed mine because basically the shadows in this are unreal. They're so blendable, they're so easy to use. So see, if you're just getting into makeup, I would definitely recommend these because they make the work really, really easy. So my first brush that I'm going to go in with is my MAC 217. This is a staple classic blending brush. So I use this to pack the colour on. I'm going to go in with the shade, what's this called? Ticia, which is like a kind of orangey brown shade, which is really, really nice. I'm just gonna pop that on my brush and just start putting that all over the lid. Please excuse my faces. It's so hard to remember, see, when you're on camera, like not to pull the weird, ugly faces. Now that I look scary AF, I'm gonna take my blending brush. So I'm going to take the MAC 224 brush. It doesn't have the numbers on it, but I was trying to remember what it's called. This is also a staple blending brush. It's just really good for blending out any harsh lines. I mean, I love other brands, so like Juvia I love, but I just always tend to, I've got like my staple brushes I always use, and these two just happen to be those brushes. So I'm going to go in and just start buffing out the edges. My MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Dark Tan, and I'm going to use this to kind of blend it out a little better because I feel like I need it before we go in with any other colour. So if you struggle to find something that's a really nice transition with a warm tone behind it, the MAC bronzers, well the MAC Mineralized Skin Finishes are really good. I really like Dark Tan and I like Dark Deepest as well. I do take my shadow quite high up to the brow bone, but I feel like once the whole look comes together, it makes it look a lot better. Okay, so now I'm going to go back in with the same colour that I started with, just to kind of intensify it a wee bit more. This looks hella orange. Blends, blends, blends. I don't know why I say blends like that. And then I go back in with this brush, just buff it all out. You basically want to make sure you're buffing the edges as much as possible, just so that your blend is really nice. Really, really nice. I'm just having to hold this up real close so that I'm making sure the detail is there. Now I am gonna go in with my Anastasia Fudge colour. So I'm gonna go in with a kind of smaller brush now. This is a more detailed brush, and this is the Luxe Define Crease brush, and this is also a 224, but this is from the brand Juvia. I always get the fear when I do people's makeup, which obviously doesn't sound good if I'm a makeup artist, but I always get the fear because you're just like, if someone looks at this like right now, you'll probably think I'm butchering their face. I'm going to go in with the darker colour from the Juvia's palette, and this is the shade Fuzz. Fuzz. Oh yeah. Yeah, I always have this impression that I'm going to go in and do like a kind of really soft, like really natural bronze glam look. And this is what I always end up with, like a pure dark eye, but what can you do? Now I'm going to go in with the exciting part, which is the top of the lid. Now I'm going to use two different things for this. And these are two of my favourite like pigments, my go-to bronzy pigments. So the first one is the Urban Decay Moodust, and this is in the shade Midnight Blast. Now this is absolutely stunning. See, that's what it looks like. Basically, what I'm going to do to stick this on is use the NYX glitter primer, put a little bit on the back of my hand like that, and then I'm going to take a flat shader brush, and then I'm going to pat this all over the lid. See, I like quite a diffuse kind of sparkle all over the lid, but you feel free to cut your crease if you'd like to do that. I just like to pat over with my fingers though, just to make sure that it's nice and smooth and there's no like thicker bits. So now I'm going in with the shadow, and I'm just popping this all over where I put that glitter primer. What I'm going to use for this is a pigment called Famous, and this is from the brand Peaches and Cream. This brand is honestly unreal. If you've never tried them before, I would definitely recommend you do, because they are really good. So I'm going to use something like this, and then I'm going to pop this, oh yeah, and I'm going to bring it right up to the brow bone. I'm going to go in with my concealer again, so just the same one that I carved the brows out with. I'm going to go in with a pencil brush and just that darker colour underneath. So I'm blending it out with like a teeny weeny fluffy brush. I love this. It's from Morphe. I can't remember what the name of it is, but it's unreal. And then I'm taking a little bit of the dark tan colour. I honestly don't know why I put those accents on. It freaks me out. I'm like, why am I doing that? Inner corner highlight, I'm going to use that lighter shade I told you. It's a gorgeous inner corner highlight, and I'm going to mix in with a bit of my Jeffree Star King Tut. So I kind of go in at an angle down the way, and I use a small shader brush for this. I love that. I love it. Now I'm going to put a little bit underneath the brow bone here. Now the liner that I use is the Inglot 77 liner. This is just, yeah. If you don't have it in your life, you need it in your life. So I'm going in to smudge it now. I'm just using a pencil brush for this. Now this is really good looking faces, but you really need to just get right in at that lash line. Then I'm going to take that little fluffy blending brush that I used for underneath the eye with that Fuzz colour, and I'm just going to blend over that just to make it a wee bit more seamless. So the sparkle that I'm going to add is the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Liner, Glitter Liner, don't know what it's called. Now all I'm going to do with this is I'm not going to put it on everywhere, I'm just going to put it on kind of like near the inner corner and just underneath as well. Just kind of pat it with your fingers. The lashes that I'm using are Doll Beauty ones in the style Auroura. Yeah, but I'm going to stick them on off camera because it's not really exciting watching me put it on. Plus I've pulled enough ugly faces as it is, so yeah. So before I do anything on the skin, I always spray my face with the U-Tan and Tone Coconut Tanning Water. I love this stuff for underneath your makeup, on top of your makeup, before you go to bed at night. When you wake up in the morning, spray this on your face and you'll have a nice glow. So I'm just going to spray that all over. I'm going to go in with my foundation first. The foundation that I use is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. This foundation is really good for dry skin. As I said, I don't have dry skin, but I love the look it gives your skin. I love how it looks in photos. I love how concealer blends into it, how powder sits on it. This is just a good all-rounder foundation. I usually use a beauty blender or I use something similar. Today I'm going in with a brush. So the brush I'm using looks like this. It's like dual-ended, but this is from Primark and it's really good for the price that it is. I'm going to go in with the concealer brush I used to carve the brows out at the bottom, but now I'm going to use my foundation to carve my brows out at the top, just so that we've got nice defined eyebrows. You can see I just kind of follow the shape I've created and I go right like that. This means that when you're going in with your forehead foundation, you don't go and ruin anything that you've done. I don't use a very heavy layer of foundation just because I don't really have much that I want to cover up, just a bit of redness, and obviously I want to look a wee bit more the colour that my body is. So the concealer that I use is the Kevyn Accoin Sensual Skin Enhancer. You literally only need to use a tiny little smidge. So I use SX02 underneath my eyes. Sometimes I will use SX08, but it is very, very warm. So it's only if I'm very tanned. Winter months, not so much. Plus, the foundation that I'm using will warm up the SX02 a little bit. And then I like to take it just on the kind of outer part of the brow, just to make it look snatched. Oh my god, I look ridiculous. We'll go on and do a bit of cream contour. So I like to do all my cream stuff at the same time. So I'm going to use the Revolution concealer, no I'm not, Revolution foundation stick in the shade F13. So like that, down my nose, and then a wee bit like that. And then I'm going to take the wee end bit of the foundation brush, which is really handy. I'm going to start blending that. For underneath the eyes, I use a mineralized skin finish as well, but I use it in the shade medium. So it looks like that. It looks really, really pale, but it doesn't really go on that pale underneath, but it's quite nice for adding a little bit of that lightness underneath. Right, now we go on to bronzer. So I'm going to be using a Morphe M530 brush to put my bronzer on with. and I use a MAC one and a Nars one. So I'm going to go in with the MAC Dark Tan, which is what I used on the eyeballs. Just where I put that cream contour and just really light circular motions, just so that I don't go too overboard with it. This is the part where I worry that I put too much on because it is such like a warm tone orangey bronzer. It's quite hard to kind of judge when you're gonna be the same colour as your hair. And then just a little bit on my forehead, just to try and make it look a little bit smaller. Then I'm gonna go in with my Nars one. This is in the shade Casino. Now, I know some people don't really like a blusher colour, but I'm quite a fan of blush. So the blush I'm going in with is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush. This is in the shade Captivating. And a wee bit on the end of my nose. So I like the baked bronzer because it kind of ties everything together. So this is from the brand Revolution. Again, really affordable, really good if you're a makeup artist for your kit. And I'm just gonna pop this really lightly all over the kind of cheek area and the end of my nose and chin. Now I'm gonna go in with my Jeffree Star King Tut. This is a beautiful highlighter. And then I like to put some just above my eyebrow. So I'm gonna use the Vitamin E Skincare Hydrating Mist from Superdrug. I like this because it gives your skin a nice glow. We're gonna add our wee freckle. So for my freckle, I use the same eyebrow pencil, the browner one, and then the micro one, and then I'm gonna put a wee bit of dip down my MAC just in the center of it to give it a more like natural effect. Okay, so I'm gonna pop this just here. So I like one there, and then I like one here. And I just darken up a wee ones here. I'm gonna use this on a little eyeliner brush, so just one like that, a wee bent one, and I'm literally taking a teeny little bit on the end of it because you don't want to use too much because then you end up with like a big brown smudge on your face. Love it, love it. Okay, so for the lips, I'm gonna go in with a classic matte lipstick. This is Velvet Teddy, so I think everyone obsesses with Velvet Teddy, and I kind of wasn't on the bandwagon for a while, but since having my hair this colour, I've just found that it's been my go-to lip colour. And at the moment I'm loving a glossy lip, so I'm probably gonna just add a wee gloss on top as well. The gloss I'm using is from a brand called Jordana Ticia. I love this brand. I'm using the shade Clueless, and it looks like this. So guys, this is the finished look. I hope that you enjoyed this video because I had so much fun filming it. It feels so good to be back filming tutorials on YouTube. So yeah, if you guys liked the video, please leave it a wee thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video.